Hello folks, and welcome back to my video gaming channel. Today we're talking about the Sega Master System game Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the 1991 Master System version of the Genesis classic, an 8-bit down port that took the debut adventure for Sega's Blazing Blue mascot and made it available for players who hadn't yet made the leap to the next hardware generation in the early 90s. And though it isn't as visually appealing or as fast as the 16-bit edition that everyone knows and loves, this game is pretty good in its own right. The story and setting are both the same. You're Sonic the lightning-fast hedgehog rushing through the familiar zones and doing battle against the evil Dr. Robotnik in the occasional end-level boss fight. Your capabilities are also the same as the Genesis edition. Sonic can run, jump and tuck into a ball to spin through enemies. So it gets the basics right. On the whole, Sonic on the Master System is a capable conversion of the overall feel of the Sonic Genesis. So let's have a look at the game. The first zone is the Green Hill Zone. I love the Green Hill Zone. It's the basic happy grassland type zone that each Sonic game has. You won't find many obstacles or dangers here. Keep away from the odd badnik and keep an eye out for the spikes. Now for the Bridge Zone. Bridge is familiar to the Hilltop Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's quite a cool zone actually. There's a few more badniks in this zone compared to the Green Hill, but it's particularly pleasant to look at. So admire the scenery, but watch out for collapsible bridges. Act 2 is one of those scrolling stages where the screen continually moves to the side. To be honest, I found Act 2 a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating to play. Now we're on the jungle zone. So from the bridge we move on to the jungle. And I have to say it's quite a leap in difficulty. Act 1 isn't too troublesome, just take your time leaping on the logs flowing down the waterfalls. However, Act 2 can be a real pain. As you move upwards, the screen from below disappears, so you have nowhere to go except up. Act 3 can also be very frustrating too. Damaging Robotnik will often result in you landing on his bombs, so you really need to practice that jumping. Now we're in the labyrinth zone, and this zone will bite you if you're not careful. For one thing, you'll be thrown into the water, and to stay alive you have to touch these large air bubbles. Robotnik is annoying in Act 3, but he's not as difficult as he was in the jungle. Keep your cool in this act and avoid moving unnecessarily. So here we are, from the cool, nice looking earlier zones to the futuristic setting of Scrap Brain. And again, this zone is a pain. Act 1, like usual, isn't anything to worry over, but in Act 2 a bit of backtracking is in order. You'll also find teleports in Acts 2 and 3. Finding your way out in Act 3 will possibly prove the most difficult task, especially if you're going through for the first time. Okay, so here we are in Skybase. I hope you're a good jumper. Lightning flashes, flying platforms and other strange things await for you in Skybase. Make sure to time your jumps here, because one slip and you'll fall. If you can hang in through the first two acts, however, you'll finally get a chance to sink your spikes into Robotnik. It's time to save the world, Sonic. Let's get on with it. Okay, so here's the end scene. Okay, so where's Sonic? Very quiet. Oh, there he is. Bang. Take that, you evil Eggman. Now, before I give you my full review and my rating for this game, I would just like to show you a couple of the first levels of the special stages. Okay, so I'm now going to give you my rating for this game. Firstly, it is important to point out, as I mentioned earlier, this is not a straight port of the Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog game. This version of Sonic stands on its own and is pretty good in its own right. Where you'll notice difference between the two is in this edition's lack of the more dramatic elements of the original. For example, you can't pick up your drop rings when an enemy hits you. That famous ring scattering graphical effect was likely too much for the Master System to handle. Additionally, there are no loop-de-loops or other severe curves for Sonic to spin through. The level design is more straightforward and tame. And there are no intricate psychedelic backgrounds and crazy spinning effects in the bonus stages. It's again more straightforward, though not any less fun, I have to say. That's the point that you'll eventually come to, that though Sonic Master System is different and not as flashy as its 16-bit older brother, it's still fun to play since it gets the feel right. Its levels are totally different. They're tamer, yes, and the levels are very similar, but the Master System Sonic stages all have their own unique layouts made specifically for this version. So for me, it makes it feel more like a different game rather than just a straight port. And also intriguing is that the Chaos Emeralds in this one aren't hidden in the bonus stages, they're in the normal side-scrolling levels instead. So on the whole, this little 8-bit step-down conversion of Sega's flagship mascot platformer is just curious and unique enough to merit your consideration. I'm going to rate this Master System 8-bit game 7 out of 10 stars, one of the better Master System games, I have to say. Okay folks, that's my short review of the Master System Sonic the Hedgehog. If you like this video then please press like, however it would be great for you to subscribe to my new channel and become part of my gang. Come on guys, join my gang. Until my next Master System game review, have a great day, I'll see you all very soon, bye bye.